So, good evening, all. This is Samira Salim, Senior Technical Engineer from BIM Labs. Before presentations, we already discussed about as part of the future skill competition. We have these modules and some assessment criteria. I already know about BIM setup, modeling and collaboration, model coordination, corrective modeling, asset information model, a documentation and file export, and the pending topics that we need to cover are data analytics and automation, schedules and quantities, and site execution. Now, we are going to discuss about schedules and quantities module as part of the future skill competition. And the contents that are included in this particular module is creation of schedules of project information, including custom parameters, creation of animated timelines or 4D simulations, and creation of takeoff packages from 2D plans and a 3D BIM model. So first of all, we can start from the BIM estimation topic. As you all know, building information modeling helps you to do many that means help you to create model based cost estimation, right? And Revit, which is an intelligent 3D model software which works as a BIM tool by Autodesk, is where we can use or we can create model based cost estimation. From the model that you create, we can directly estimate, we can have a model based estimation. But the thing that you have to keep in mind is that you have to provide correct informations. After having an architectural model, what we are able to do is that we can prepare a set of documents, we can make estimations. So automatic updation is possible in Revit. That is, whatever changes that you are going to make in any of your building element will make an automatic updation in every corresponding views. So using this information rich BIM model, we can leverage the data in these elements for a great number of goals. So for example, if I'm deleting anything from a view, or if I'm adding anything to a view, if I'm modifying anything, what changes update, that means the changes will update to every related views, even from the documents, even from the estimate, the cost will also get changed according to the changes that we made to the model. So that is where we can use Revit as a BIM tool for estimation. And here you can see Revit can be used to develop a detailed construction estimates of the quantities of various items of work and their expenses using the data in the elements of BIM model. That is what I said. The data that you have to provide is correct. Otherwise, the output or the schedule data will also be wrong. For example, if I'm making a digital wall or a virtual wall, whatever, and instead of brick material, if I'm going to provide a concrete material, the data that I got, that I extracted by using a schedule will be wrong, right? That means instead of getting if I'm going to take the quantity, how many number of bricks that I'm going to use in the model, and if I provided the wrong material, how can I get the correct data? Okay, that is what you have to keep in mind. You have to provide the correct information while you're modeling in the instant properties or the type properties, and only you can extract the correct data. That's it. So I can show you in Revit hours how where the schedule, what are schedules that we can take, like schedule quantities, material takeoff, or how can we do that about custom parameters, or how can we create calculated parameters, all those things. Before that, we can just look onto a brief about the theory part. Okay. And this is on the right side here, you can see a sample schedule table that can be seen in the Revit. So that can be extracted from the properties of the elements in a project, as like how we give the data, and we can customize the schedule. We can add that means whatever data that we given, we can make that as a schedule data, or we can make that as an output. Okay. And also, not only that, but we can also create calculated parameters by giving formulas, etc. You can change the units, you can make grand totals, you can filter the data, you can sort the data. So many things can be done in a schedule from Revit. And I already said you that all schedules update automatically when you are modifying a project. Like there's some examples. I already said you that if I'm deleting a door, the door count in the door schedule changes accordingly or automatically. When you change the properties of building components in the project, the associated schedules update automatically. Okay. That is, for example, you could select a door in the project and change its manufacturer property. And in the door schedule, it will reflect the change to the manufacturer property. Like what we are changing, in the plan view or corresponding to the element, the changes will be updated in the schedule view too. That is what I should say. And in Revit, we can take different types of schedule like schedule quantities, material takeoff, key schedules, annotation schedules or note blocks, and the revision schedules, etc. Graphical column schedule, that a lot of schedules we can take. Okay, come to the schedules. So what is the difference between schedule quantities or material takeoff? And by using a schedule quantities, you can create a schedule of any building component to determine quantities and estimate cost. For example, door schedules, window schedules, furniture schedules, room schedules. For all these things, we are using schedule quantities. Okay, generally. And come to the material takeoff, it actually gives more importance for the materials that we are using. Here you can see material takeoff schedules list the subcomponents or materials of any Revit family. And material takeoff schedules have all the functionality and characteristics of other schedule views, but they allow you to show more detail about the assembly of a component. For example, if I'm going to take a wall material takeoff, I'm able to find it out how many number of or how many quantity of materials that I'm using there. But in schedule quantities, are not able to find like such details. Okay, so material takeoff will give you more importance or more. You can by using material takeoff, you can find it out the quantities of materials more easily other than schedule quantities. And other for by using schedule quantities, what we are going to determine is that we can make a schedule of a building components, determine the quantities and also the cost. Okay, so you can see the material takeoff example, wall, mold material takeoff, cement mortar, like plastering. So for all these items, you can use material takeoff if you want to find out a quantity of materials and all those. And in both schedules quantities and material takeoff, you can create custom parameters or calculated parameters. But in material takeoff, directly we're having a material name, material area, material volume, material count. Likewise, you will be having some default available fields, so that you will be getting the materials that you use in the corresponding building elements. So how can you create a schedule? In Revit, you have to go to the view tab where you can see schedule. When you are dropping down that option, you will be having schedule quantities, material takeoff, all those things. So there will be you will be getting a window that shows new schedule dialog, where what you have to do is that you have to select the category. From the category list, you have to select the component that you need to take off. Then after that, you will be after selecting the component, you will be having a list of available fields. From that, you can choose to the selected fields. Okay, after selecting those fields, the data will become there if you provided the data while creating the model, or otherwise if you can also modify the data. That means if there is nothing that shows in a particular data, you can enter it from the schedule itself. So directly the changes will comes in the model elements, or if you're providing the additional data and the model later, that will get reflected to the schedule view again. Okay, after that you can click on OK. Then after completing a schedule quantities, you can sort the data, you can filter the data, you can change the units, everything can be done. Okay, come to the material takeoff. Same way, you have to go to the view tab. There, when dropping down the schedules, you will be getting another tool for material takeoff. You have to choose it. Then you have to choose a component. There you have to choose available from the available fields. You have to choose the field that you need to extract the data. After that, you can same things can be done. Sort and group, format the schedule, etc. can be done. Click on OK, that you will be getting the material takeoff schedules. You can take grand totals. So we can filter the data according to some material names. So whatever, okay, whatever field there is. And calculated parameters. See, in case where the need for a particular field exists and that field is not mentioned in the schedule properties, we can use the calculated parameters to define formula driven reporting values. That means, for example, here you can see number of bricks in a wall. When I'm choosing a wall material takeoff, there I'm having a lot of available fields like material name, material quantity, material volume, or length, width, thickness, height of the height, like what are parameters that we can see on the instant properties or type properties can be added to the schedule. Okay, but for example, if I need to know the number of bricks in a wall, I cannot have such a parameter, because by default in a wall we cannot see such parameters, but I need to create one. So at that time we can go to the calculated parameters. So for example, how can we determine the number of bricks by using a material takeoff? There we have to define a formula. Okay, as we know, the normal size of a brick is 19 by 9 by 9 centimeters. And when considering with the mortar, we know it is 20 by 10 by 10, or in meters, we can say it as 0.2 by 0.1 by 0.1 meter, right? So by multiplying this, we know the volume of a brick, normal brick with mortar is 0.002 meter cube. So if this is a volume of volume of a brick, a single brick, how can we find the number of bricks? And directly when I'm choosing a wall material takeoff, I will get the material volume there. That means a field that is material volume. When I'm choosing the category of the component wall, that I will be getting the material volume, material area, all those things. So by dividing the material volume with the volume of a single brick, I will be getting the number of bricks, right? So this way you can use the calculated parameters. You can add a new parameter where you can define a formula by using the existing field and by defining something more. Okay, I can show you that. So this is one example that I'm just showing how to find out a number of bricks. Okay, likewise, this is a step that shows here how can we do that. I will show you in Revit itself. Okay, also we can export the schedule data, like if we need to export a schedule in an Excel format, what we can do that directly from Revit itself. Go to the file tab, there you can have an export schedules in Excel format, so that you will be getting a .txt files. You can open txt files in Excel, right? So you will be getting the schedule data in Excel directly. So that is what we can do. So this is about what estimations of schedule quantities or material takeoff that we can do in Revit. Okay, at the final stage, I will show you the software part. Now I'm just discussing this. So also we are having another schedules like graphical column schedules. Other than the schedule quantities or material takeoff, we can also take graphical column schedule, but that is used for structural related parts. That will show you some column schedule with images. All those things can be seen. Then you can see sheet list, where you can have a list of sheets in a particular schedule manner. Also you can see revision schedules, note blocks, annotation schedules that will have a schedule related to annotations that is added in your drawings. Also we can see key schedules. Key schedule means if see we know whatever information that we are provided in the corresponding building elements can be taken as schedules in our project, in our Revit project, right? But we can also, if there is multiple typical elements, for example, if there is a door, and my project is a 100-story building, and in that particular room I know I need to provide a wall finish like this, floor finish, ceiling finish, all those things, and which is similar to multiple rooms. Okay, but if you need to provide this data, what you have to do is that you have to select every rooms and you need to provide, you have to enter the data, right? But if you are making a key schedule for the room, that means by providing a key value and just enter these informations. After providing the informations, we are assigning these data into our building model. That can be done by using the key schedules. It makes your work easy. Multiplications can be avoided. Okay, that's it. So like this, we have to perform schedules in Revit. Then comes to quantification in Navisworks. Actually, Navisworks is a multi or project review software where we can do things like multidisciplinary coordination. So in Navisworks, if you're having whatever models you're having, you can, that means, for example, in a project, we know there are architectural part, structural part, maybe mechanical, electrical, plumbing, all these disciplines are there, right? So okay, so all these disciplines are there. So we know that in a project, in a live project, in on-site construction, these all building elements comes into a single building, right? So in Navisworks, what we can do is we can coordinate these multiple disciplines, whether it is an architectural model, structural model, like MEP model. We can coordinate all these together in a single model. Thus, we are able to detect whether there is any clashes or conflicts between a building elements is there or not. For example, if I'm considering a commercial building, we know that if there is a false ceiling, above that there are a lot of building elements. There can be structural elements like beams, columns. It can be mechanical elements like ducts, then sprinklers, conduits, etc., etc. So And these are designed by different engineers. Structural parts are designed by structural engineers, mechanical part by mechanical engineers, electrical by electrical engineers. So having conflicts or clashes between these building elements is high if they are referring to a 2D model. Like, but in BIM, what we can, by using Navisworks, we can coordinate these models. Thus, we are able to find it out whether there is any clashes or conflicts between any of the building elements. It can be between structural and mechanical, mechanical and electrical, mechanical and plumbing. Likewise, we can find it out. Even you can customize the customize to find out the clashes, whether there is any clashes in the ground floor between these elements. Like this, you are able to find it out. Thus, what we can do is that we can resolve the clashes in at the design stage itself. You are able to switch back to Revit. You will be getting a clash report showing which all elements make the clashes. You are able to download the report. Then by looking onto the report, you can see with the images and also with the element ID which all elements are making clashes. As you can switch back to Revit, you can find the exact elements that make clashes corresponding with the help of or the corresponding engineers. What they can do is that they can resolve the clashes, or they can then find it out, oh, there is a clash like this, so they can redesign their elements to resolve, to make a clash free model. Okay, that means at the design stage itself we can produce a zero error model output by using the clash reduction property in Navisworks. Also, you can see 4D simulation. 4D simulation means either by having a multidisciplinary or having a coordinated model and with a project management data, it can be prepared from a project management softwares like Primavera or MSC, whatever. So having this coordinated model with a project management data, what we can do is that we can link these two together. We know in a project management data, starting from the initial data, initial activity of a project, up to the finishing stage, there may be different activities. So a project manager, a planning engineer has to effectively connect these activities to complete the project in a reduced amount of time by maximum utilization of, or effective utilization of resources, so that he is able to find it out within how many days we can complete the project, or in which budget. So these are can be find it out, right? So having a project management data with a multidisciplinary coordinated model, what we can do is that we can link these together. That means, for example, construction of footing. This is a particular task that we need to do as part of the construction, right? So we know there may be, not there may be, there were building elements that shows columns. So what we can do is we can select the columns to link to the corresponding activity. After that, we can simulate, or we can create pre-construction visualization video that can be shown to our clients. Like we can show to the client, this will be the 1 month progression or progress of our construction, it will be like this, that we can show in a video like output manner. Okay, or we can show the entire outputs or entire progression in a video output. Also, we know in a project management you can do both planning and tracking stages. In tracking stages, what we are doing is that after, that means when the construction starts, we can track the data, whether it is okay, whether it is similar to the our planned data, or it can be over budgeted or under budget, likewise. So we can track the data according to the on-site construction process. So also what we can do is that in the 4D simulation, that means for pre-construction visualization videos, you can also create actual videos and planned videos, as you are able to get a comparison of that. So all those things can be done. Then quantification is another property in Navisworks that helps you to do quantity takeoff. So in Navisworks, we can do, and also you can create animational videos like this. Okay. See, so in the schedules and quantities module in your future skill competition, you can see both Revit estimations and about Navisworks quantification, also 4D simulations. So now we are going to look about how or what is quantification. Actually, quantification tool in Navisworks help you to do takeoff in Navisworks. That I already said you that, and it is a, and we know what is a takeoff. It is a process of measuring quantities of materials from models, drawings and specifications prepared by architects, engineers, and other designers. Right. And in Autodesk Navisworks, takeoff is carried out with this quantification feature, and quantification help you automatically measure or make material estimates, measure areas, and count building components. And you can estimate construction and renovation projects, so you spend less time counting and measuring and more time analyzing the projects. Okay. And quantification supports actually integrated or integration of 3D and two-dimensional 2D design data. You can combine multiple source files and generate quantity takeoff and takeoff an entire building information modeling and create a synchronized project views that combine information from BIM models such as Revit, AutoCAD software together with geometry, images, and data from other tools. That is what we can do. And you can also perform a virtual takeoff for items with no associated model geometry or properties. And your takeoff data can be then be exported to an Excel or for analysis and shared with other project team members in the cloud using Autodesk BIM 360 for optimized collaboration. Okay. Then here you can see there are 3 types of quantification that we can do in Navisworks, which is model takeoff, virtual takeoff, and 2D takeoff. Come to the model takeoff, it uses the properties embedded in the design sources file to create takeoff data. Okay, and it extracts objects from the model and displays them as items in the quantification workbook. That means with the model that you're having, you can extract the data. Okay, that's it. And virtual takeoff means we can perform virtual takeoff to add takeoff items that are not linked to a model element, model object, or where an item appears in the model but contains no associated properties. For such we can do virtual takeoff. And you can use measure tools in conjunction with the virtual takeoff. And come to 2D takeoff. And 2D takeoff trace existing geometry on a 2D worksheet such as floor plans. That means if you're having a 2D drawing which is in a DWF format, even from a PDF, we can create 2D takeoff. We can look into more detail. So here you can see quantification supports files from AutoCAD, Civil 3D, Plan 3D, Autodesk Inventor, Autodesk Revit, PDF files, etc. Friends, you can also use non-native DWF files. That means design web format. Design web format files such as PDF that can be converted to DWF using print driver softwares. Okay. Then here this in this here you can see a typical workflow of quantification begins with a design file created in Autodesk design applications such as Revit, AutoCAD architecture, and Civil 3D. And before publishing a design file, an architect, an engineer, or other designers determine which features, that means models, layouts, layers, properties, to include in the file, right? And after determining the content, a designer publishes the drawing and shares the file with the estimator. In some cases, a designer scan or save drawings as image files and send them for estimation, right? And when the files are received, the quantification workflow begins. So for one person, they maybe get the DWF files, and in Navisworks there are different file formats: NWC, NWF, and NWD. NW is a Navisworks cache file formats. In other softwares, we are converting our other files into NWC format. In Revit too, we can export that to NWC. But RVT files are also supporting in Navisworks. But why to export NWC means it takes only less load, less data, or MB file size will be less. Okay, we can use the file very easily if you are exporting that into NWC format. And NW, which is a freedom or viewer format, NW and NWF normally we are using in ongoing projects, so that whatever changes that we are making in the other models, changes can get updated into the NWF files. And NWD, which can be used for a licensed version. And whoever got the NWD need not to have all the source data, but he can use it, okay, without losing. If there is no source data files, even when we can use the file, that's it. And here you can see this slide shows the workflow of quantification. First of all, you have to open a design data source file, then you have to open the quantification. I can just show you that in software, okay? Then open the quantification workbook. You can set up the project. You can create or select takeoff items. You can hide unwanted items. You can use measurement tools for items which are not in catalog. You can organize a takeoff items. You can edit formulas or parameters. You can refresh model after changing the data. You can analyze and validate takeoff data. After that, you can output the takeoff data to an Excel format. And you can see this is what we can see when we are using the quantification tool in Navisworks. This is a window that we are getting, which is quantification workbook. Here you can see some markings. And the first one, that is the one indicated portion, we can call it as navigation pane. This contains a list of items and WBS or work breakdown structure codes. And the second portion, which is called it as a roll-up pane, the summary of your takeoff items. where that means whatever items that we included in our takeoff, the summary will be get on the roll-up pane. Okay, then for the third portion, we can call it as takeoff pane. It displays all takeoff items. And the fourth portion, we can call it as quantification toolbar, which access the main functions of quantification. And the fifth portion, which is 2D takeoff toolbar, access the tools required to mark up a 2D worksheet. The takeoff those items to the quantification workbook to create 2D takeoff. Okay, only after having a DWF files, we will that 2D takeoff toolbar will get activated. So this is what navigation pane, roll-up pane, takeoff pane, quantification toolbar, and 2D takeoff toolbar. Then come to the item catalog. See, when we are choosing a quantification workbook, there itself you can see item catalog and resource catalog. And item catalog is an organizational database for your takeoff. In a quantification workbook, you cannot add any new item, or you cannot delete any new items like this. But in item catalog, you can add a new item, you can delete the item, you can rename the item, you can change colors. All those things can be done in item catalog. Okay, and actually the item catalog and the resource catalog share the same structure: selection tree with variable panes and general informations. And also you can, from the item catalog, you can directly switch to resource catalog by this fourth option. And from the resource catalog, we will be having an item catalog toggling option. First indicated portion, we can call it as an item. The second portion, we can call it as resources. That means if you're adding a new resource, it will comes like this. The third portion, it is formulas, where you can double click on a formula to edit it. Okay. Then the fourth one, this is the resource catalog. Click to switch between resource catalog and item catalog. And here you can see resource catalog. This is a resource catalog window. Resource catalog is a database of your resources for a project. Okay, resources could be related by function and type, such as materials, equipments, or cost. You can add that into different items. The first portion indicates, that means the first portion can be called it as a resource group. The second one, which is resource, that means you can group resources into folders and subfolders. That's it. Third one is again formulas. You can double click on that to edit. And fourth one is item catalog. You can switch between resource catalog and item catalog. And how can we do a model takeoff? Okay, first, when you open the file in quantification for the first time, a project setup button is displayed. Okay, that is where we specify measurement units and the catalog you want to use for organizing your takeoff data. I think better I can show you that in the software itself. So this is an Navisworks interface. When come to the home tab, here you can see class detective tool, timeliner tool, quantification, etc. I'm selecting this quantification tool. See, now it comes to sheet browser. You can close it. That can be used only when you are going to take a 2D takeoff. Okay, so I'm closing this. Sheet browser means actually when we are opening a DWF files, you will be getting all the sheets that is in that particular file, so that you can open the different files. If it is closed, you can access that later by moving to the bottom status bar, where you can see the sheet browser. So quantification workbook, here you can see a project setup. Right, that means we have to click project setup to begin the quantification. See, here you have to select for a catalog. If you are choosing none, you can create a catalog of your own. Okay, if I'm choosing a catalog that is displayed over or in this list, you will be having some specific categories that is created already in the default catalog. So when clicking onto the next button, you are able to select the various units that your project will need for measurement. Whatever unit that you need to have the measurement, you can select it, which can be imperial, metric, or as shown in the specific file that you are using. So then again, click on to the next button. Here you can select the model properties you would like to use in takeoff. You can select all the properties for a particular trade or pick and choose. Here you can see for these takeoff properties like model length, model width, model thickness, height, perimeter. So in the metric units, what do you need to have, whether it is in meters, centimeters, or millimeters, whatever, you can select it. That's it. Okay, then you have to click on to the next button, and you can finish to just to finish button to ready to create a database. Then see, this is where I said quantification. Here we can see 60 numbers of items by default because we are choosing the catalog CSA 16, and here you can see item catalog, resource catalog, all the things that I said before, right? The navigation pane, roll up pane, takeoff pane. So you can include the data in the building elements into this for creating the takeoff in Navisworks. Okay, item catalog, here you have to, you can, if you need to create a group or a new item, you can click over here, but from this configuration workbook you can only assign the data, not creation of anything. Okay, and resource catalog, you can see, you can switch to item catalog by the top right button. Then again, see, this is what we said here, from this listed custom catalog to define the items and resources in your project. Then here you can see, here you can select the units that, or we select the units of measurement you want to use in your project. That's it. Then here you can see in this, here you can see both in medial, metric and variable, right? Then come to the takeoff properties, where you can select a unit from the drop down for each and every properties. Okay, and then you can set up the data. After that, that means after clicking on the finish button, the database will be ready. Then the catalog items are displayed in the configuration workbook like this. Also, you can see one more thing. In when you are selecting the configuration workbook, there you can have an import or export button where you can export the data into an Excel format. Okay, I can show you that too. That means if you want to export the data into an Excel format, come to the configuration workbook. On the last top right here, you can see import or export catalogs and export quantities. After taking a quantity takeoff, yeah, you can select this and you can export the quantities to an Excel format. Okay. Also, you can also export the catalogs too by into an XML format. Here you can see the if you are choosing none option and creating a catalog that is by your choice, you can export that into an XML format. That's it. Then okay, that means here the slide suggests to select the objects. For how can we select the objects for a takeoff? That means we're having different selection methods from the selection tree in Navisworks. You can do the selections, or directly by selecting onto the model interface you can include the selections, or by using the section cuts and all those we can include selection, or by using the quick items, quick find items, or likewise we're having different selection methods. Okay, you can use any one of these for selecting your element, your objects for the takeoff. Then see, here you can see different to select takeoff items, select same object, select corresponding takeoff objects. To take off to an existing item, that means after having a quantification item that you created by using item catalog, what you can do is that you have to select the item you want to use for the takeoff. Okay, then in the scene view or selection tree, select an object, group, or the entire selection tree. I can show you how the selection tree looks like. See, in Navisworks, here you can see, this is a selection tree. This is a model that I just linked, and here you can see these are the different levels: basement floor, ground floor, terrace floor. This is the first floor. You can see basement floor, ground floor, first floor. So here you can see the different floors, and when I'm selecting these floors, you can get the selection from the interface, right? You can also expand the selection. See, and I'm expanding this view here. I'm getting, suppose ground floor, and I'm expanding the ground floor. Here you can see ceilings. You can select ceilings separately. You can select doors, floors, rooms, structural framings, walls, windows. So all those things in a separate manner. Again, you can expand the selection, where when I'm expanding the doors here, you can see these are the different types of doors that I'm having. So when I'm expanding again, when I'm expanding the first type, here you can see again, here are these much sizes for the type. So likewise, you are able to get, you can get the selections from the selection tree, or otherwise directly from your model, you can select the items for getting the selection. So when I'm selecting anything, here on the selection tree, I can understand, oh, in which floor, what item is that. Likewise, I will be getting the selection on the selection tree directly. Or you can see select option by what mouse click, or you can have a rectangular area for dragging and selecting, or you can find items, you can quick find by giving some properties likewise. And also come to the viewpoint tab. Here you can see enable sectioning option. When I'm enabling section option, you can cut the sections by planes or boxes. So you're able to have a view in a customized manner. So then also you are able to get selections very easily. Okay, so these are the different selection methods that we can do in Navisworks. Then so here it shows how can we include the selected items to a takeoff data. Okay, that means you can right click onto the there, and you can select the things that add this item to an existing quantification workbook. Like this, you can select it. So right click your selection, quantification, takeoff to name of the existing item. Like you can select it, and or otherwise you can directly, you can, after having the selection, you can drag the item into the quantification workbook. That is also possible to add the items to quantification. See, suppose if I'm having a I can just show you that. That means here you can see some data are over here. If you need to add anything, uh, like for example, if you need to add this whole data into this particular masonry, you can just drag the item in like this, okay, to include the data in the quantification workbook. So you will be getting, if it is a group, you will be getting the data like this. And when I'm selecting on the quantification roll up pane, you can see its length, the total length, width, etc. And also in the takeoff pane, you can see the individual data. So this is how you can include a data into the Navis, into a quantification item. Also, you can right click there, and here you can see quantification, takeoff to which item. If I selected anything, you can also add like this. That is what the PPT slide means. Okay, then virtual takeoff. Actually, virtual takeoff, I already said you that takeoff objects with no properties, and okay. Virtual takeoff, I already said you that virtual takeoff can be carried out when you want to add takeoff objects that are not linked to a model object or item. For example, where an object has geometry but has no properties, or where an object does not have geometry and has no properties. For these items, we can include virtual takeoff. Okay, and this could be the case if you did not save the properties from the original design application with your file, or that the object you want to take off does not exist in the model. In both cases, you can associate a viewpoint with the virtual takeoff object, so you can navigate your way back to it during the takeoff process. And once your virtual takeoff or virtual object is taken off, you can begin to add properties by using formulas which provides quantities for the object. Okay, and the camera icon in the viewpoint, the field denotes the associated viewpoint. Click it to view the item in the scene. Like I can show you that. After adding a quantity item in quantification workbook, there will be having a camera icon on the takeoff pane. You have to click it to capture the location. Okay, that is what it is saying. And to create a virtual takeoff, first in the quantification workbook, we have to navigate to an item that you want to contain the new virtual takeoff. That means you have to zoom the portion, and then you have to right click the item, then you can click new virtual takeoff. To rename the takeoff, a new takeoff, what you can do is that you have to go to the item catalog and you have to double click that to rename it. Okay, we already said that item catalog is the portion where you need to add, delete, or modify items and groups. And to add a viewpoint to a takeoff, in the scene view, navigate to the position you want to associate with the takeoff. Then in the quantification workbook, click the item you want to add the viewpoint, and on the toolbar, click add viewpoint. That means a camera like symbol, there it is. You have to click over there. Then come to the 2D takeoff. 2D takeoff allows you to measure lines, areas, and counts on a 2D sheet. Rather than carrying out manual calculations on paper sheets, you can mark up geometry and perform accurate calculations. The geometry is then takeoff automatically to sit alongside the 3D takeoff in your quantification workbook. And 2D takeoff supports native and scanned DWF files and non-native DWF files such as PDF. And see, when we are choosing this, first of all, when we are opening the quantification tool, there comes a sheet browser. It lists all sheets or models in the currently opened file. Okay, then this is a 2D takeoff workflow. First of all, you have to select or create an item in the item catalog, like how we did for creation of a catalog. Then you have to open the 2D sheet you want to use. If a project contains several sheets or models, use a sheet browser, that is this one, to select a 2D sheet. Okay, then select a markup tool from the 2D takeoff toolbar. Draw your markup on the sheet. Your takeoff result appears in the quantification workbook, which is very simple. We can find the areas, perimeters, length, count, etc. by using 2D takeoff workflow in a the PDF, even with a PDF file. Okay, that's it. So you can see when I add a line over here, it will be getting the high length of the line that I created by using the takeoff, 2D takeoff. See, for drawing 2D takeoff, we're having different tools like polyline, rectangular polyline, quick line, area, rectangular area, bucket fill, quick box, count, etc. See, and also we are having for finding out a perimeter, you can go to the polyline or rectangular polyline where you will be getting the perimeter. Also, if you need to have a rectangular geometry, you can use rectangular polyline. Then you're having quick line for picking out the lines that you need to find it out. Then if on finding out area, you're having area tool. For finding out rectangular types area, you're having rectangular area tools. Then we're having bucket fill for quickly selecting the inside geometries, quick box, count for making counts, and also we're having a backcode tool. And if I just created an area, if I just marked up an area where I need to find out the area, and if you want to reduce anything from that, you can use backcode. Original markup areas in the quantification workbook is reduced to reflect the backcode. See, we can see some indications. Area takeoff is showing, and on the this corner you can have another backcode which reduces the area. Okay. Then in the quantification workbook, I already show you the import or export catalogs and export quantities. From the drop down list, click export quantities to the Excel format where you can save the file to your preferred location. Okay. So this is about quantification in Navisworks. Then come to the 4D simulation. That is what that shows a timeline or data, something like that. So 4D simulations means I already said you what is 4D simulation, that after having a coordinated BIM model along with the project management data. One more thing is that if you're having a project management data, we can import that data directly into Navisworks, or otherwise you can directly create a data in Navisworks itself. Okay, whatever thing you need to have a project management data, that is it. So after coordinating these two together like a project management data with a BIM model, you are able to create a pre-construction visualization video. See, virtual construction of a 3D model over time. Also with cost we can do if you provided or if you assign resources and find out the overall budget of the project, that can also be included in the simulational video, which can be called it as 5D simulations. Along with the progression, on the top left side, there shows the construction or the percentage of the currently ongoing activity, the date of the means the day of the project, the week of the project, like this, along with the cost if you added the cost there. Okay, so that we can call it as 5D simulation if it includes cost too, or if it shows only time, we can call it as 4D simulations. Quickly communicate the building construction sequence and intended workflow, enhance the collaboration between the project teams and clients. If we're doing 4D simulation, what we can do, we have to open the Navisworks model. You have to import the project management data into the Navisworks. There you can see a timeline or tool, you have to select it, and you have to do the integration of construction activities with the building elements. Then you have to click onto the simulate button for playing that. Okay, then see in the timeliner tool, this is where you can see the timeliner tool. The home tab, a tools panel, you can Okay, so what I'm saying is that come to the data sources tab. You can see an add button where you are able to add a project management data that if you're having to your timeliner window, so that no need of creating that project management data again. You have to select the corresponding building elements. You can attach that into the corresponding building activities. Then you can make the task type to construct for showing that it's a construction type of activity. And after that, when you click onto the simulate option, the video will be played according to the date and the time that you provided from the project management data. And also here you can see a configure tab where you can see three types of elements like construct, demolish, and temporary. And also here you can see an appearance like for a construct type of activity. That means, see here on the task tab, you can see construct, then demolish and temporary. That is what here we can see. So when I am choosing a construct type activity, it shows that green color, 90% transparent appearance in the finishes in the starting stage of the particular task, and at the end appearance, the same as a model appearance. And then for a demolish and a temporary type construction activity, for a demolish here you can see the start appearance is a red color, 90% transparent, and the end appearance it cannot be seen because it's a demolish type activity, right? But if I'm giving a temporary task type, that shows a yellow color, 90% transparent at the initial stage, and at the end appearance, it is hidden off. So we can configure the elements. So then we can play the items to simulate the video. I can show you that in Navisworks. Say here, for adding items for a project manage, come to the home tab. Here you can see a timeliner tool. You have to select it. See, here I already imported a project management data from Primavera. Here we can see that with the plan start, plan ended, and all the data. No need of creating it again. Say I already do some selections and I saved that as sets. So come to the view tab. Here when dropping down windows, you can see set window. You can include your items in selections like this. See basement floor, ground floor, first floor, second floor. So I included something like this in the selections. So after that, after doing this, what you can do is that you have to include the items corresponding to the activity, then come to the simulate tab and play the items for creating a actually this is not the correct video. The construction is actually in two parts, so you have to customize I can show you the correct video now. So this is just an example of a building, how to make a 4D simulation video. Okay, that's it. Hmm. See on the top left side, you can see the time, day, date, and the week of the project. Also the current ongoing activities, its percentage, everything. So when I am posing any portion here, you can see when I'm on this on 66th day of the project. Now the how where I am in. So likewise, you can see the leveling and PCC of the second part is ongoing, which is 30% completed. Here I can see that is indicated with a green color, 90% transparent color. The starting of the level 2, the part 2 of the project. That's it. Since I'm not having such a PCC related activities, it shows like this. Then come to the plinth beam completion of the second part. So along with different parts of construction are going in a particular project, this can identify with a 4D simulation video. See column construction in the second floor at that time. reinforcement those activities. Since I'm not having the data elements, that is what I did not enter it. But you can, if you're having building elements corresponding to each and every activity, you can just link that together. Okay, that's it for creating 4D simulation videos. So this is how the 4D simulation you can see. We can create it. Okay. Then next one is that I can show you also the Revit estimation part in the software part. See, when come to the view tab here, you can see create panel. On the top you can have a schedule option. When you are dropping down this, you can see schedule quantities, material takeoff, graphical column, schedule, sheet list, note block, and view list. Main things that we are using is schedule quantities and material takeoff. When come to the schedule quantities, you can use you can create schedules of the components, building components like doors, windows, furniture, rooms, etc. Here you can see a door schedule. First of all, when you are choosing the schedule option, you have to choose a particular category. That means you need to find it. Okay, and I'm selecting the doors or data devices or ducts, whatever, you have to select it first. If it is column, you have to select the columns, click on OK. There you will be getting a lot of available fields as that you see on the project corresponding element. You have to select the fields. What all things that you need to have, you have to select it. Okay, then you can filter the items, you can sort the items, you can format, and you can change the appearance of text like title text, header text, and body text. So all those things can be done. So after clicking on to the OK, you will be having a schedule like this. This is a door schedule. Here you can see type, width, height, level, from room name to room name, count, fire rating, description, cost, and these things log set, these are actually not having parameters. What I do is I created new parameters. Here, see, come to the field edit option. Here you can see parameters like add new parameter. For adding a new parameter, you can go there, you can click on the shared parameter, you can select it, and you can create a parameter. Or what you can do is that you can come to the manage tab, where you can see a tool which is for to add project parameters. You can have a tool that is project parameters. You have to click onto the add button, and you have to choose the category where you need to add the going created parameters. Then you have to choose whether you need to create that as a project parameter or a shared parameter. If you're adding that as a shared parameter, you can share this to multiple projects and families, and also it will appear on schedules and tags. But if you're creating that as a shared parameter, it will not appear in schedules but only in tags. So for having an appearance in schedules too, you have to create that as a shared parameter. Okay, so those things that you have to do. Thus you will be getting the log set. I just added these two parameters, mission panel, so you can see this one. Also you can add images like this. You can if you need to add a material takeoff, that means if you need to know more about materials or to sort out more things related to materials, you have to go to the material takeoff on the view tab. Schedule drop down list, you have to choose material takeoff. See, when I am choosing a wall, for example, if I am choosing a schedule quantities and I'm going to choose a category walls, see, these are the different parameters that I'm having, like area, cost, count. But when I'm looking for a material type parameters, I could not find anything like that, right? So I'm having volume, width, unconnected height, everything, but I could not find out a material related parameters. So when I'm choosing a material takeoff, and again I'm choosing the same category, which is walls, here I can find out material related parameters like material as area, material paint, material cost. So this is the difference between material takeoff and the schedule quantities. You are able to give, you are able to customize your schedule more depends upon the material. Okay, so that is what we can do. So in material takeoff, you will be getting the material name, so you will be getting the material area. That means if I'm choosing a material wall, and if I provide the materials like brick, concrete, sand, cement, split, or that, you will be getting separate material area and material volume for those materials too. But if you are choosing if you are creating a wall takeoff, directly from a scheduled quantity, you will be getting the total volume of the whole total whole area of the whole like that only. Okay, but if you need to find out the volume separately, it depends upon the material. You have to go to the material takeoff. There you can add calculate parameters. You can see number of bricks. Actually, this is not an available field from the list, but I just created it. So that here you can see fx or add calculated parameter. You have to select it. You have to give out a name. Then click onto the formula. Here you can see the parameters that we already added. So you can select a particular parameter and you can give out plus, minus, multiplication or division, whatever the properties can be used for creating a new parameter into a particular volume, in a manner of formula like something. Okay. Here you can see how did I find out the number of bricks. Go to the edit option. Here you can see material volume, the already having parameter divided by 0.02. I get the number of bricks. Same if you need to find it out any other things, then again you can go to the add calculate parameters. You have to, if it is a volume type parameter, you have to change the type to. But if you need to find out a cement mortar volume, okay, then I know it is a volume type parameter. Then you have to change the formula. Then you have to give out a formula from by using the available fields and by giving out the other values. Okay, so this is how from by using this calculator parameter you are able to find out the number of packets of cement that you are using in this project. So all those things can be done. So that is all about scheduled quantities by using Revit and takeoff in Navisworks and about 4D simulations. Okay, so if you're having any doubt, please ask me now. So if you're having any, if you're not having any doubts, I think we are good for now. We can wind up the session for today, right? Okay, then thank you. If you are having any more doubts into this particular topic, you can contact me through this mail ID, samira@bemlabs.in. Okay, so thank you.